right ebusuan like video share mo before na ono so enya bi enhwe na Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ena nei okasa e de kire Mampanyi John Mahama se kwan a wafa so a enei otete MPP mu adehye ni bi no enya de etwa yie kura esan se amonyonsem de se ube di tumi se yana se uye mampanyi a also ma ho kwan na etimi criticize o so uye ade bi na nkoyi a also opposition no etimi eka bie na o man kan bia be den no hu se de uye no ekoyi ananse nkoyi esi de otwa sa no nim se na chi achia diwachi achia also opposition no na eka na ene obi kasa ni akwa kwachire no obi kan se de uye nkoyi ni akwa kwachire no ni the police no harass no ni nyina no emwa ama kabi mami kabi no entimi enkoye na sansem kro na mu no na former information minister honorable Mustafa Hamid enso so atutu bi pa de amani mampanyin se debi MPP enye bayira asadio abrewa adwo na omo ntranse nya hwehan ema onfa security service na ehunhun omo nka omo kasa bo anhye omo yem se de etie bia no omo be ginam no makasa de amamonyoko no se be ya nyama betimi akoye e de amagana
bisabio se obi ka anase obi ye na se ye kochina na eye madwen na kakra na eno no ka ye koyechi indeed se ne wo kan ye no to the days of criminal libel no. For example ni esi na nsenya MPP ni a wo sunyane a ye frɛ no Baba Amando na semi a ye chi no journalism mu ye wo bibi a ye frɛ no satire,
okay,
satirical piece. Eno no ye ka desere, and every day we a leader dia ubehu satirical pieces on you sa obi amfa satire enya se minhu da se obi akochi obi because of satire. Satire is different from libel and ampu se slander. What you say? Satire ye adia oka ede ama obi asere ajineni inti se oye minister na obi kodrow wo internet mu na ohye wasomade na wabɔ lipsticks ni ade na se wahye watade fefefe colors no atade ni e color aha won say me describe kra won say wo sere nti eno no frankly speaking e say yemfa nsere ni yemfa nye den yemfa ngi yeni after all tensions no do so yemfa bibi anye sere ya na yakonya BP ni ade nti no eno no e wo say ye de sere but aban no says na hwe especially President Nanado Nemre no masa hwe the caricatures ye yefa Nanado ho a na edoso bebre almost every day. In fact ne ye wo obi e wo TV3 o din bi sa bi refi din tilapia de bia sa tilapia cartoons ye sorry a Nanado a na ye si no so say ye si no so ani ye caricature no but men who da kro da say BNI and national security kochi obi say was satire Nanado nti yesre say bebi a amamo na du no me en sign enye den enkoyechi ebiom nti wo bisa me to answer your question simply. I think say we are becoming intolerant again and I think that we need to watch that.
And who sounds what is saying?
Well, and so say, you know, o bottle pressure over toa na especially o de fabibi to say Coke bottle because of the soda na a woman na u shake u sena na se ubiemu prekopa uhu pressure explosion a eba ewoto anim intino sa na trying to suppress dissenting opinions etie se o suppress ya there is no way a obetimi a suppress amanfo forever ebedru baby no there will be then a revolt and I think says our revolt no already matisse MPP for in the Sunyani Bono region a demonstration. I think say Ochinampo. Etia sa Nyomana ekosono. So all of these sentiments, can blow up.
Civil uprising.
Nti I think say baby a yen ye de ne dru ne de nka aban no me catch say omunye albaka kakra na omunye tolerant kakra na yen nyina yen fa bi nye den enfanye sere especially satire.
We are former information minister. I want to say a culture of silence.
Well, I feel na one try say omobe institute is a culture of silence, no, because see a chi way adeɛ kye ne yɛkyi kofi adeɛ kye ne yɛkyi ama wɔn a wɔn aka no ɛbɛka sɛ ehu bɛbɔ wɔn nti yɛnyɛ kum na yɛankɔkye me. So I guess sɛ wɔn pɛ sɛ yɛdu mpɛmpɛnsoɔ bi a obiara bɛsuro sɛ ɔbɛyɛ dɛn ɔbɛka n'adwe, but I don't think that that's the essence of our democracy, and I can assure say baby a yɛdu no sɛnea Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia can and then who newspapers and said Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia can say we are not going to be intimidated, we are not going to be cowed, because NC, because that's the say no asasepa ena mete ho akase mete ho obi ti radio station watermale kasa obi obumpurugu to the extent to say ya liberalizing your airwaves na yen kasa we have granted over 450 radio licenses I want. That is very difficult say obegagini panti. They should better understand the reality now a woman and then let people go.
Why a former information minister managing government information difficult?
Oh, very difficult. Bikra no frustration ka ho ena aban no chichi nkrofo no, because quite frankly senior oman no esitie no Ghanaians are so conscious of democracy and they say all the time citizens no puti aban no on its toes. Do you get the point? Inti and we are there oman no so sectors no so agriculture, education, sectors bebre. You can't get a hold of all the problems at once. Road sector. Inti wakra na o kase oh munhwe East Legon kwan maye munhwe Cape Coast kwan no obi nso wo Hamili e kase okay so Hamili to Laura no say me wonya me kwan. You get the point that I'm trying to make? And of course, a developing country, you need resources. I bet me tackle problems in prekope. Many would way. I don't know whether senior high schools have closed down or they are threatening to close. In fact, I hear some have started. Shut down schools because of school feeding. Inti amamono and nafemsa enye better sa. Oh. Inti na unhu se niamana NDC campaign was so nyina se yeba no one nyina no omaye den omaye U10 e wo hu nyina. Inti that we government minister for communications are unia ojuma ye din. Number 2 fact is that we a government minister for communication and a minister for information.
Damage control in our one.
Apart from the damage control, no citizens no expect to say ubenim energy, ubenim finance, ubenim defense issues, ubenim interior, because obi lights echo offer. If there was doom so, we are expecting minister for communication and say communicate no akani entia BBC. There's a defense cooperation agreement with United States government. They expect to the extent to say sector biya woni minister nemum government minister for communication no na you expect this onumum na bibiano he should be on top. And sometimes we a government minister for communication near and say bibi to me see for example a road sector onia she share minister for roads no now we sa kan na wenya information ebiano ni ho ebiano wetu kwan na afi issue no koka sa na afi ya dey blame communication minister for government communication and now say government communicators no omo nya de and I say and no say me who post be wo social media obi achro say now President Mahama has been left alone to explain his own policies on so-called aboboya ambulances ne wine nsem no. I mean senior tieni inti no to be honest my ejuma beye miensa under President Akufo-Addo Aban. My Minister for Information, my Minister for Zongo, and my MPA Chief Executive.
Yeah.
Ubisa me say, me ansana me ye no, near hina na din pa, make us say Ministry of Information ejuma.
Hey, Ministry of Information and Eddie Maupa.
Pa.
MPA na Eddie Mau.
Oh, there be. Say, MPA no, systems wo.
Okay.
Systems edda ho. And no, 1 + 1, 2. 2 + 2, 4 at MPA. But in communication, in the business of information management, 1 + 1 and 2.
And then now 2 and now
no, 1 + 1 and 2. Inti say you beka 1 + 1 abom ni akacho say and 2 a. Masa ni eja wo gan dem has find the answer but and 2 a. Da ben na obenya ne ho answer. Ohun ne me kire wo no. Inti eno is difficult and eno no other sectors they say for example National Petroleum Authority it is predictable ship FED fuel beba from Amanoni abedu ye seas edu seas quality assurance for ebe ko ship no so akofa petroleum product no kakrebi akọ test wa laboratory whether say emit a specification emitia normal clear na afi fuel no aba storage tanks mu eba storage tanks mu a GRA for ho o ma calculate the eba ye taxi ya he na wetua efiri ho a fuel marking for enti bibia ye straight but we a minister for information boss o ho na bibia pai na bibia wonim ho na apai wo baby
ye pian se kotirem
and they say na mene madamfo Haruna ene meba Zaki ene enam ena mekai assembi wo Ministry of Information say meti hoda kura na meti wo radio so say then Director General of GBC odne Chief Justice akọ signing agreement to say Chief Justice ebe set up specialized quarter or the bet try one omuntia TV license fees. Hey, me tell you say a jack to or main because a jar, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not literally.
Yeah.
Ye. I feel the nanado pursue chi tum say then too. Hey, na immediately I was saying me sorry. Na me to one among send ye be dispelling news no na ya cool it down tempest ne ade. Those are the kinds of things that you won't find in other sectors. Even if you are minister, me say apart from those days you be some me say ministries no near hina din pa. First, me see information. Second, na maka Ministry of Finance. Okay. But even Minister for Finance no kurana. Onya right now we started prepare media budget review. Obehwe near ya spend any near aka. Osha no aka say eh baby aye di no ase ye di akodu dompe no inti media budget review no me kwa metete for budget so amana ba say and also it's quite scientific kakra. Do you get the point? Yeah. Aha. But with Ministry of Information there at every point in time unim nieba and bibi bana to say obes scuttle around now what put it together or crisis communication Eddie. So to be honest, that is the job that I think say na even not with me. I think say in Aban Biano sa ejumano it's very important and it's very difficult and a minister for government communication is always the Obroni Beka, the unsung hero.
Okay.
Ono na bibia enkoyia yes ono na waye. Meanwhile bibia koyie so ono na obi an yi na ye because you bet at if energy is going well you see minister for energy na ye. Education is going well you see education minister ye. Now mom bibi nko ye e minister of education na you see communication minister no is not communicating it well. I mean that's a difficult job.
Right, me pacha feel wa beke ho ai ne Dr. Mustafa Hamid ene din komo wo ba se first vice chair MPP ye hwe national issues kakra na fe ya TSC no so ne ahwede ntia wo ba amusumi dunum ni na Ghana for di tumi ma NDC aban se mampanyin John Dramani Mahama wonye ye mampanyini your assessment about governance ye ni kan fa governance amamuo no etew sen
Well, okay, say me mark here. Me who cross any me marking no.
Between 0 to 5.
0 to 5. It be a me manu 1.5.
Send a
What
warrior.
you say? Now say worry. Because near TN say, Onia, ba abemua. Ya wa nneoma bi a ode ye campaign. Ye gina nneoma no so eto abama wo se be di oman no so. Meboa. Nti wo ba nneoma na wo ka se wo ba wo be ye no. Eno na ye behwe so e de grade o. Se wabo homode anase wo mo homode. Nti yen ye be for example in 2016 no. Ye ka say ye be free SHS. Okay, free SHS pan na eye ne obro ni be ka ye flagship policy. Anameboa. Ye wie ye na ye say ye be planting for food and jobs. Ye buy ye say ye be 1D 1F. Ye say ye be zongo development. Let me just take these 4 parameters. You buy na first year no people didn't even believe say you buy na first year na nkwala go school for free, but that very first year you implement free SHS emani. That very year now you start planting for food and jobs. That very year now you start 1D 1F. That very year now you start 1 dam 1 village or 1 village 1 dam. What in your mature na say inti okaya President Nanado ne goodwill lasted almost the entire 4 years until say you were COVID period. No, you called the latter part of 2019, 2020 now COVID by no and a nyoma started here then edane. But many will say goodwill and this is the barben goodwill then I evaporate ko. Why? Because nyoma ye buy ya ye say ye be ye nyina no ya ye U10 ewo ho LGBT na eya asem kese pa wo 2024 campaign anamebo omugina so kasaya Emma sese kura what say your former running mate kura de malam imam bi akokot ne ade we nyina ye kan no masalachi ne nkeka ho imam fo pastor fo say ye ne yenye ene ye ne ye try to promote sese omo ba ye no yes you and your body you expect say kabai now anti-LGBT law no ya pass it na mum say there be na say LGBT de ehia LGBT de no eduane ben ye pe kontomre ni ampese dia wo say LGBT
your man pan say sensitive.
Do you get the point? Na say sensitive intina omunim sa na omudi ye campaign against ye inti omo ba ye no omatwe asan omo ba ye. The other issue was Galamsey. Okay, Galamsey so your number 2 issue. Omutijine mu fighting. Say yen okay, a big crash say, oh, within 3 months, you are the commander in chief. Who did 3 months? People now stop Galamsey. You have the police, you have the soldier. Say siano, omukra police, omukra soldier. So Galamsey, the jinemu din. Ama mampenyina nkasa abe den. Abe kase. People are saying say man because we confess saying for but enye ne hia say ade no be jai eto be twa ena ehia what you say nti eno so ewo ho 3 ye ba ye first okay say omo ka kire ye say oh MPP fuze say oka say kontomre asa wo kroma almost free SHS osi obiti ye ne ya almost free HSS say so almost no assembly a obeka bia almost dollar wa fem bibia dollar wa fem nemo dollar wa fem no na neoma bo esro na eyeden eko inti you can see say dollar wa fem no en fa so bia enye den ema amanfo ebotom neoma bo edin se ne echen ne na ananado etiase no so economy na ankasa no mi ankasa ubisa me ameka se still enye den enko yesa
but inflation had dropped to 3%.
So say enu e book asem ne yeka but inflation say e be dropping e say drop wo bottom right now what is say yes sachet water cry no the bo akosoro any ade so that on that score it hasn't also then it hasn't worked ejuma omo bad no omo say omo beye bibia your friend 133 formula wo nti nka wo ho e bia wo pon be 10 o'clock o kwa obi so beba from 10 no to ebia anopa 6 a.m. na ebi nso aba from 6 a.m. to ebia 2 p.m. na omo friend 133 formula onua ye bayi 133 formula no oti nka we ejuma ben na workers no ye 500 say omaye no 1000 omaje 1000 aka ho because we 133 just say ejumayefo no ye 500 just say na the promise was that as at now no ebia MPA say workforce no ye 500 and something
1500 and something
so that 500 no epon ejuma na ebia aba
na different 500 aba
onia ye kasa sem we nyina say ne omo ka no enye no kre but Ghana for entie yen ena omo to ma wo mo obi eti MPA at this time and then all year at this time what in here make sure one say inti enye yesa the ubisamia 24-hour economy policy no apaska inti these are a few of nyoma one car say omo beye no so ni nyina no omo aye U10 on them inti on that score no on a me man 1.5/5 no. So I have my reasons. This is a scripter. Me mark here. I can even give you reasons for why unya 1.5/5.
But you will see us so krumha. You are suffer from pain for krumha. You were imami for ewo krumha. Your opinion leaders ewo krumha. MPP to so they be a chokrodo and this yabamba it seems to be anka sabiu. A dynasty so no musura na say diade.
So first of all, me nka say suro no musuro because akwondia omko ema NDC edeba aban mu no won hu say NDC buy no NDC are disappointed won na e disappointed wo sana obroni efre bibi dissonance.
Okay,
in other words nyoma nka wonimo no na mrepemu no ohun say entisa eyesa na we dissonant sana we confused for now like you are dazed and you don't know how to react but ewomu a na baako a finding a voice na wakasa kakra but me wogidie say mrepemu no one besasa na omo hunioma senior etie they are still recovering from the shock say nioma NDC ka say wo be ya ono so nya gidie ma NDC for say omo ba ampa omo be ye no omo hu say entisa
me yan corporation recover all it ya to ba wie ya na omo say da bi MPP for wie is Ghana for sika they hey ya kwati committee Samuel Kujata Abra kwaba out the betu dra say ye betime retrieve $20.49 billion. Ye sika kese pa ye betime dia ye bibia. Asad now ye nti bibia. Eyo won asa nti bibia.
Oh Debbie enya me nwa. Say o Ghana na say o follow Ghana your fourth Republican political trajectory. Okay, the same Minua Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwe 2008 elections. Ye two abawie ya ye declare results na MPP lose ye na ena okotna then Radio Gold. And say secure all the borders. Don't let them run away. We are recovering all their loot. So quite frankly, how inflation recover all and yes and for sana omudi propaganda to Ghana for trimu okay say ye ka say President Kufuor ni fie ho no ni WCC nyina wa ye gold plated inti Emma President Kufuor kra invite journalists e bie ni fie so white obia embehwe. That is how can you imagine say opposition party to me force a sitting president to open his doors wide for people to come in and inspect his closets near there. That's how far NDC propaganda can go. You refi. Okay, Sam Reno, Minua Kosi Pratt, Kakre Bina, wa embarking on one-man demonstration on almost every issue. You know, there was even a propaganda said President Kufuor fishes now. And nama a was seen him watoni na ama brofo in advance and waji nisika into Ghanaian fishermen would no longer be able to go to the sea when MPP wins in the yeba a co-opposition or mobile abaymono kikri omudi 8 years ye huni ekosie we no afena omashase. So, yabeshe say omo cases be our court.
Yeah.
So because they are in court,
okay.
I think
stay away from
we should leave it and see.
Quickly, we
how
have
it
former
goes.
MP boss and the basa energy. Nini energy homes and some. And now at the pump station, petrol war was so, diesel war was so. Say MPP and the war can then number differently from the NDC aban.
Oh, dear, you be any say, ne, dear, no. Time me what MP, no. Me kai time COVID by Russian Ukraine war and so by What we did was that some of the margins now did that petroleum products no so. So, especially the UPPF margin. I think at that time UPPF margin was about 9 pesos. So, eba 4 or 5. I see that that's what they're also trying to do. I think Mati Radio says margins or so in order to give Ghanaians the cushion that they need. So quite frankly, as a buying BRano, that's the latitude that you have. The allowance are all no. Any margins and levies and taxes are one kasawa imposing what petroleum products. Because Nyoma Minu Titu and a determine petroleum prices.
Yeah.
Okay, one, exchange rate, and a 2 the international price,
world market price
of products. These ones too, most of the time, a new control, sir. Do you get the point? If we were in power, exactly what they say they are going to do or they are doing to reduce it. And one also here because you just have to reduce the margins and taxes, and they say they are doing it.
At least one guy IGPO. Runs, you know. What pay would use for Ghana? Pay would use in MPP. Obitin Tia Obeka, I didn't tell Opeso back to the executive committee, MPP.
Because Obronese experience is the best teacher. That's all. And you know, say experience sana na se o party no edu bebi a sebi o ni o memu aye den kakra no a ohia wona omo wanimdie enim party ni history aye bida okay say akanfo obibi omo kan omo say aye bida ene ye friend aye boafo. Inti baby a ye do no ne ye se ye pe won a wo bebe abeye ade de aboa party ne dia ne ye pe won a won aye bida straight away. Do you get the point? Inti se me amaye bida no na se me wo sa nimdie no ni bibiara metimi dia ye aboa party no na me ko fold me hands ekotena baby a sebi o na me no party no enye den enini se ne de bia me ka no me a member of group BIA, your friend International Association of Political Consultants, a worldwide group. We are saying na one more political strategy hunimdie. You consulting my political party. So ABIA CCC party BIA a war Zimbabwe Citizens Coalition for Change. So ABIA CCC. Na ebia UPND ebia those things na ye consulting ma omo yetimi kire wo say okay election year these are the strategy based on oman a history the demographics ye ni say eno ye ko hu school political consultancy ye ko hu school Inti me makonhu school ISPD Belgium enya hu certificate say me consult my political parties me chere political parties say ya win the election. Now ma set up me consultancy Greenspark Consulting Group me the consulting my political parties or Africa memu. Na me ankasa me party edum pempensuo bi a ehia sa nimdie ne say e de besan ayeden awin election aba abamu na makase me kopɛ me baby atena abochi wo yesa when enye party no ho na wadi party no hwambo wankasa no wayeden wadi ho ehwambo nti I just think say the call on people to me say onua yenim wona won nim no bebre ne ba me nchen be ka say abochi yenim o men share wo office ha enye consultancy emma other international political power one kasa wo party den ehia sa emwa no and I decided say okay sadia enye boni after all maye bia ma party no so ayeden aye bia ma me nti ma memfa mmoa na mempia party no bio na enkodum pempenso bia ebetime gina na so e de awene election.
But your positions be bro administratively secretary chairman omo na ye adwuma ni nyina why not secretary obi say adwene ne ka why ye bi pen entinka adenti na wo ma say general secretary na wo course first vice.
Well, 2 reasons or even 3 or more. So first of all, when you say me a lecturer at university, me tried there at university. In fact, in the last 8 years, University of Cape Coast, me secondment. So memra abemu na mimbeye ejuma. Miti hoi me prepare say me sign akoye me juma as lecturer. 2, my catcher was say my setting up me consultancy, Greenspark Consulting Group. Me consulting for political parties on the continent. Enona edi eduane ekoma na mitua me ma school fees ne ade. The only position a full-time position in the MPP party no na etua sa nipa no ka no general secretary position. Inti we general secretary and we no full-time. Means me consultancy job means me sign collector ne ade. Inti no Socrates e can ask him say man know thyself. E was uhu kane ansan na de obetimi aye bia waye den. Why? Say na me nim me ho say this is who I am and what I can do no. And he say me occupy one of the part-time positions and vice chair positions ni nyina den part-time. And no this is a free meeting or party headquarters na wa ba your meeting na no then you go. So those part-time positions na me hwa metimi ayeden aye so that me ankasa mejuma me ya man me nsa ekoma no so no metimi ayeden aye. That's number 1. Number 2 no so ne say menya kan say de bia metimi officer me kind books on politics, on strategy me de boa amamai. Inti it's much easier then say me occupy one of the vice positions so that as me political strategies now and no midi jisikano now on the side also me pia strategies ni bi so ye de ema me party and also a bit me a pia party no akonkan what in me chere wona say inti no I think say for very good reason I decided that maminya vice. Now, near
okay, me patromiti.
Near what on say general secretary position. Me contested general secretary 21 years ago. 21. Me contested national organizer 25 years ago.
Wow.
2001. Inti quite frankly, now my being say elective position there. Do you get the point? Me contested national youth organizer. The first elected national youth organizer of this party, AMA. And this is 24 years ago. Tina my being say position a your friend elective position pa de me bibio. But as I said, no, me now for Haruna Mega nom Akilu Shahibu nom neade. Ebe putu pressure says so no onia untimi nkasa enchre. To the fact pa say o wan kwan mu ni de untimi enkotena nchansa nti bra na be vie for a position within the party. To be quite frankly, some of them were actually divided. Say ye general secretary, ebi say ye national chairman. But say ne amachire mu deda no. O contest general secretary. Election bia a win or lose. Inti ofa nimdie for be 5. Akuku dam nimdie for one adwin do in politics be 3 or 4. Eko pe position baako a na se baako nya enan na won aka ni nyina che se yaye den yadwiri won egu na se enye ni owini ye no na sebi o obenya akomapa e de aka se okay me ne mo pray de na mo enya na emum mo mmra na mo mfa mo nimdie no emmeboa nti onya committee bi a na de wato ho organization committee bi communication committee bi enye obi anso na ebeyesa obi wo ho a once a wo ne no ko pray ne de
na tan aba
na waka se kope obi bitima but we share national vice chairman positions na eno enya ba ko pe emiensa ati ase eno enya emiensa nti mukọ aba na ni onya adodo no ye be friend first vice ni otoso no second vice ni otoso no third vice inti eno no unim se denya na se ye fra o Mustafa Abdulhamid nko ade a na se o contest sa positions we ya denya 3 executives positions ubebem ni ya you make sure say by all means unim die na wo na o person de boa party no den you will be at the decision table betimi the aboa party.
Perception wise, among for who ni say critics say MPP lack leadership. From where you sit, MPP lack leadership.
107.3.
First of all, it's been nearly over a year. And your national chairman Nebusia issue statement. A catcher say on Tiapo. TSN say on Tiapo no. Enti ontimi enye ne dwuma bio as national chairman of the party. To be honest, yes, ano nioma to sin kakra. Inti the lack of leadership no is not to say ye ni human resources no say ye di beye ejuma no. Na mom resources na ye call last MPP National Delegates Conference aye kotoma ye no ne nka odi enimu a obeka ye nyina abom a kire ye kwan ne ye di nechi no nioma bi ankoye ama no inti no ama ase ye organization no aye disjointed kakra. But of course say entina every 4 years there's an election cycle. Until I believe say by the time I call National Delegates Conference in September, Akoyi leaders in it, we will see that the party will bounce back to its feet. Already, your first leg, you elected your flag bearer a flag bearer is so no obiye ni pedigree ewo omemuha say owo economy hunimdie. You know, wabin or woman, waye opposition running mate for 8 years, wabai bemu for 8 years, or what the requisite experiencer, obetimi edi enim, edi akokun, ama yedim kunim. Nemo wana wakana yenka yebe bone chidom a national executive no, and non so na wasi yehwe na yeyi wana. Asene mekanya no onwo nimdie ewo party no ho experience ewo abadaye omaye bida na omabo nechi dom na ye de akoye ni nti I believe say yes no kre nyoma to sin kakra but enche ebeye fortunately for us no so no 2028 is still a long way off, and as they say in politics 24 hours is a very long time.
Yeah.
Nti 3 years is even a much longer time. You bet me a diabo and then we can bounce back.
Bottom up approach, NPP adapt, you know. Abua a top down approach, you know. Abua party.
Abua any say. Nka sesia na nka yenyan yi flag bearer. First of all, nka keke ni koka na nka enjaye. Keke ni koka na uhu time na primary so no e woso no. I mean, you can see a jar, a dairy or MPP mu atem didie ni personal attack any or time ni adia na e party no ni nyina ayeden akofem. That's number one. So the top down approach, has saved us a lot of trouble in terms of yankabum kaneno neto suminu nka yenya elected presidential candidate nka polling station elections ayekoi, constituency elections, regional elections, nka afeina obi beka se me Mahmoud Bawumia supporter, me Brian Chancellor supporter, me
Kennedy
a Japan supporter. Nti afeina omo behwehwe candidates nyina chira kwan se sponsor me so that me na ma beto aba amount. First of all, uni sika like Obroni Beka, you don't have a bottomless pit of money. Ubetimi ade sponsor obia. Nti eye den a ube sponsor bi, ubeje bi. Uti anye yie ne one sponsor do no ekọ wini a. Now say say me call constituency chairman one support him. Me so meto etiaw. Now oko mobilize etutiaw. Na still oye presidential candidate. Now so nkrofo aba constituency chairman we want support you. Inti all the resources eba for national campaigner. Men fan so. Now and also accentuating the divisions within the party. But see na ya kona ya electing Mahmoud Bawumia area no. The attitude they say dear say my flag bearer area. So I don't have to have an interest in the Ekoso ewo region constituency.
You're very new.
And I said your own winning biano. Obiara party no be yi na ma me biano. Many omo ebeye ejuma. So I think say aboyen in terms of the unity of our party.
And then SMPP send a beya. Omo abufu abebo mumu obi wo aye say border suja obeka sadum okoda abeti na escalate. And then MPPS omuye. Na tutuo no abufu wo mu no. Omu nyina betumi aba ma party na recapture power 2028.
You see, they be a mekase. Obi kra ni nyame na obi ni ho. What you say? Kaneno. Intino se ye nyina ye wo ekuo mu a. Ye fa ne se sa ekuo yi ena ehon ebeba mfaso ama oman no titru. Okay. We oman no esi nchen a eye sa ekuo yi ena ehon beba mfaso ama mene mebusua na yetosumienu no. For example, me say ninti a mebeye politics in the first place is because PNDC aban, which is the party or the military government from which NDC came no. Pamo me papa call exile. Nam papa is sojani. Okay. PNDC accused me papa. Ene ne nanfufuo bi said they were planning to overthrow PNDC government. Ne nanfufuo ni bi ye chichi omo ye kukumbi. Ebi nso ye imprison omo for 16 years. Me papa ena otumfo nyankopon ebo ne ho ban na otimi dwane firi oman ni. First call Togo. From Togo ena onya kwan call Belgium. For 16 years, April 1985, and I'm papa fi omaimu. Na mi wo boku secondary school from 3. Inti mi be fie na me papa eni hono. Ni yao any amani hunu a me femu with the exile of my father. And I mami hu say me nyinia e was say me kutia dictatorship.
Okay.
Okay. because dictatorship ena ama mabrabo nka mabrabo yeden eya say inti 1991 na me wo University of Cape Coast Jerry Rawlings announces say obe lifty ban on political parties yebeye Dankwa Buzia Club, there was Heritage Club, there was Eagle Club. The Heritage Club is what gave birth to the CPP related political parties. Eagle Club, initially, it was a fight between Eagle Party and NDC to take Jerry Rawlings, and Jerry Rawlings call NDC no ja
Eagle Party.
Eagle. Inti, I was very clear in my mind to say political party first of all, now me imagine say me be a politician. Name I knew say it was my responsibility say me boa near to Jerry Rawlings efi aban so de be ya me papa be den ebenya kwan abafi and I'm pound so 1985 na me papa fi o man mu no. It was in 2001 after President Kufuor was inaugurated and sanin papa sign etiminya kwan esi o man mu ha.
Wow.
What you see? So that is my reason for doing party politics. Now me pese me boa party a betimi etu NDC free so na me papa ye den abafi because 1992 to be honest, to be fair to him, okase soldier for na o maton wure mu nyina obi amre fie because they say your democracy mu nti obafi a onya ohwe, but me papa ne nanfofo bi they said they don't trust him nti omoma or daso ye o manpanyi wo Ghana hapa de omoma until say olusu and our NDC elusu 2000 election and sana me papa ye den eba nti no yes ano I say makomu dada, and like I said by 2001 no now already I was on the platforms all over the northern region from 1992. My popular party across the entire north and the central region because my politics started from University of Cape Coast. Nti yes ano I say you've become a politician by default. Inti inti enye pese minkuminya bi enti ena mebeye politics. I came into politics for altruistic reasons. Say ye beji oman na siye na kebi mamin kebi amamu ebe wo mu a obi enwane free na ne manmu biom because of say one aban bi eyeden I disagree. Intina initially me comments now time and general issues in this interview. Me catch will say I feel very outraged. Say satire cry a crime. What you say? Now obiso or what joining MPP because they say me bazaki say they say what joining MPP because onyi and ne papa
the woman no
the woman no it's Adani family political party edi ayeden edi amano party no ba mu a ye were over 2 million members. What you say? Over 2 million members no obia wona koma so dia opese aban ne eyeden eyemano. Now party no there is no way a political party be beba all is 2 million and over members no obetimi are satisfied obia and no they forget it will never ever happen until say yesu beba. What you say? Nemum ne wasi ye nyina ye hunu ne se ye boy ye ho modern na se all the time yetimi breaki sa 8-year cycle yi na aban no etinemu afebon wa unya wo de ne a obi diapchina okay say enyum bi o hwa say obi dia ba napa obi dia ba wia obi so dia ba enyumre eze ya support sanyum no ewo ho nti obi dia ba nopa o dia beba first 4 years obi dia beba second 4 years. Madam for Haruna Mega American Asem minimum since 2000. What you say? 1998 your MPP call conference it was Sunyani call elected presidential candidates ono no propose JH Mensa.
Okay.
Yeah press conference in 1992 adore MPP who hear pictures in ma owo mu bi who share internet mu YouTuber who picture na ye veti na nado after 2000 to become Attorney General. Haruna Mega ate in a cheap. And then me who say Haruna Mega both the time of President Kufuor ba abaimono, anytime Akufo-Addo ba abaimono. Party no and abai no etimi aye na koma so de aman. But still
or party no.
And he told me something and ra ema me hudwiri mi. I say boss, me ade chia. Me hwe na se me sorry a me hu se me ti ase me won kwamu na ma dan nyame ase. Me wie no anu ma bisa me ho, am I still MPP? Say obisa ne ho no ka say ya ne me MPP anu asan dan nyame ase account. Nti de bia o dan nyame ase on 2 counts. Say o ti ase say o ye MPP ni. Nti eno no eye den dachi no ne e wose ye mano na koma so de ebebem. Do you get the point? So I will not dispute you, say there are many foot soldiers ebufu abesho mu. But I'm also saying, say, okay, say you lose 2008 no. There was also a Herman Hesse report. And also chere say foot soldiers ebufu enti ne ye lose ye. NDC lose 2016 Kosiboche report chere say foot soldiers ebufu enti na won lose ye. Right now I'm in say no internet no kohwe NDC foot soldiers ebufu a omudi gina mu edidi ministers atem na ye ni ejuma ye ne ade say ebufu na de ombe ko opposition I can assure you omko opposition wi a ombe sa chiro report aka say foot soldiers ebufu nti foot soldiers ebufu de onia
is part of body politics.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to let people understand say aban bia ni ho a ena no government official obetimi a satisfy obi biara obeyeden obeba ne nchen obe solve be problems do na problems sometimes kakra bi na wantimi unsolve no eno na amanfo edebefa ohotan ayeyi nti my plea to party for ne say ye momodin na yemfa ebufuo no enya den ento nchen ni ye momodin ni yemra power ye ba yen a sebi o kane no ye minister for information ye zongo ye fie no ye to ni akotena ye baby now a be different badge of people so abeto
so and apart from some party no so that MPP ba power we here post be abi o e wa ban mu.
I don't know how maybe 55 years already. You see, and maybe 60. May retirement mean to me CEO bill. It will be the turn of one now omudi echire say omobeba. I don't know whether you get the point that so really and truly this thing I'm doing is not for myself because mean to me nye what in the image no ABR you know there's some retirement positions there might be some ambassador be old man na makoti na me baby na my dream so people should not take it say obi a contested election especially opposition politics onuya yanka nokre opposition exactly we opposition politics ube purpose or opposition party boss and then na obenya wo I don't know whether you get it. Yeah, you are not going to go and look for a contract or anything. No, that one shows that you just are committed to party no welfare say a beba back to power. Entina oye den oye. Inti I can admit say there are many of us government officials who have people who say Mustafa Hamid me call in channel wa moami. You can also line up 1,000 and say hey me dear Mustafa Boami. Do you get the point? I have a lady our friend me also the me too ni status. And one of the aspirants for vice no friend no say hey I then o company ama Mustafa say no say share uni Mustafa ye mami me mama yare ya da hospital anko ye wu me nanti party mu nyina obi amoa me Mustafa na ebo me kotua me mama hospital but that's the reason why ono ye den
support
me there are so many obi oho Mustafa Hamid ene man ejuma obi oho Mustafa Hamid ena onya admission say okosua de wa America only plane ticket Mustafa Toye obi o wa onya admission oko no we akosua de Mustafa Toye on obi ono na oko campaigner ni motorbike essay Mustafa Hamid ne boa no toy engine esi motorbike no sa stories ni there all across the country eye bebre Oba party no hunsun sema communicators in northern region for example can tell you say kanino ni ye call radio station a ye nante ne ye call ye ni motorbike Mustafa Hamid and e boa ye nya motorbike e de call radio stations e call ye juma inti ya man citation kese a e born in office inti uko northern region na uko ka Mustafa hu semboni communicators because hey masa enye ha because yen de say bon oba Greater Accra regional organizer ebe catch there say 2004 campaign Mustafa Hamid and e come mobilize printed t-shirts ni ade Mahame ebo amisika se memfanko campaign. Do you get the point? Ubehu parliamentary candidates Ayawasu East Ayawasu hwan ombe catch there say Mustafa Hamid campaign ni yedin omno boami chairman Bella no Ombeka say, hey, Dino, even though we were DCs, any DC, MZ, no, Mustafa Hamid, any according chain, and Oboye, Sikadiko Boye, parliamentary candidates. In some baby. Obin so, Ebeka say, me buy MP, no, me MPP ni, Mustafa Hamid, mami promotion, ba kope. Instead of say, nka on promote me, and me director, no, wanya me director, intimidate, me penasem. Eno nyina eye normal enye obi biara problem na obetimi ayeden obetimi solve obi wo ho a o ma no Vena bottler water obeka say na Vena de eden nka o ma me another brander eno na nke bebo am Vena na o ma no ofa wo ho tan obi so wo ho a Vena no wanya ma no ofa wo ho tan so sometimes you see, Dagomba for ewo omunyumbi. Me catch madam for Sule SS now or ye Northern Regional Minister in the first 4 years of President Akufo-Addo. About now me say SS every politician be our e was say ye pe dondo e si ye fie nim anope bia upia ni e bodondo no shell. Dadam bemi oyan sham kabolo nira beti yambolo nira daba yiko bielo balene uti ase
debi
ye tie ni se nipa enim ni obeya ye bekase oye papa
okay
da ye bekase oye papa no eye da wawu sanity inti media quite frankly enhame say obi bekase hwe obi ni nam Nima Street so for 4 years 5 years ontimi nkoneni we wie SS or very good results ontimi nkoneni sa nipa no Mustafa Hamid matimi aso sa nipa nsa ama na juma e wo me office e di na ko university ama ne papa ne mama aba me office abobu kotodwe esu adamase nyame nhira me sa nipa no say nipa no se ofa me ho time because ejuma na me ma no me fi MPA no ma promote no ankosi mpempenso obi nti one me nkasa sa stories no am catch ro bebre nti no wo de wanya juma o e na promotion nti wo fa ho time obi so wo ho ejuma no wanya bi nti politics say na tie ni. There is no way obey politics o ko voter ubenya onyo obi nka wasemboni anase ubenya 100% vote ensi onia ensi nti but yes ye tisimu onia ye tisimu ye elected constituency delegates ni wie na me tisimu na me region by region na me chere say region way say na me ye boa party no nipa wo ha be ye we asimesi ne obentin a me boa wo mo kon wo manim enya school eye we anyway abochi ye wi a the election will be over. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Do you get the point? To the extent to say there are constituencies like Mpoho. Mitimi boa pa mobilize nkrofo mo ko boa MP no esi chips compounds nyina ma wo just for us to win election. Abochi obi ye say ya e den na opese oyebiu Zongo chiefs. The way I was mobilizing the Zongo communities and mobilizing Zongo chiefs, me have adopted National Council of Zongo Chiefs. Now, I was with them all the time. Regional Zongo chiefs, me na mo so na me boa womo just said ye be improve your 14th ni Zongo ministries, and I have all the evidences on my phone. Ani nyina ye de be ye PowerPoint projection, your campaign na your betchere 111, and I will tell everybody, your government official, they said me I also occupy a post, also betchere region by region, constituency by constituency. The ultimate year de boa party. Abochi, she yen no yen nyoma emfa enchere amansan say we na maye. First of all, ye in the interest of the party. Me nkenye say me nanfofo any party fo bi ka say me fa me nim die mbe boa party nko bia ante da say maye we e wo constituency ha ana say no near me kan nyina nka I don't mind, and nobody knows, and I don't care whether anybody knows, because me ye ma party no say me do party ninti. But baby edu no abochi, we will show what you say, then people will know say yen no party no and ye do party no. Because onya say o papa war exile for 16 years. 16 years. Nka NDC sign winning election 2000. We need 204, we need 208. You know how many years my father would have been in exile? Nka me papa maye. Inti for a political party etimi ababemu amawo papa abefie. When I met my father in March 2001 ewo kotoka misusa, I was weeping. And sa nasia no me demand nipa mienu, me demand otumfo nyankopon any president kufo any MPP so mo win the election ma me papa buy. So I owe this party and I'm going to pay it back no matter what anybody thinks.
107.3.
Menim say the base what? Chairman.
I am Hati.
Chairman, what is the base?
Annie.
Eshekiwo.
Well, and shakimi it's both ways. A shakimi in the sense that say the base even just 20,000 people, just 20,000 per. See, I'm fan of cross only 20,000 per. I was in me bohum. I was in a hammy. I was in me ye biara no musambrano me ye because ye hubi. Almost say a hunubi pain. Enti na aboa serewa oje ne ba no we yi nani ato nchen.
What be so pawo abuji.
She Professor Azuma Nelson. Obo boxing no those days or say then you cannot be called professor without nothing. You cannot be called spokesperson without nothing. What you say? Akufo-Addo sebi. Ansana or farming as a spokesperson now we do over 40 years in Ghanaian politics. Inti onim say you hear obia or ye linguistically versatile. To say Mustafa Hamid udu tamana menene nante ye konota or kabrofwa no translating into Dagbani, into Mampruli, into Hausa. Do you get up on your back akan areas now or no abeka ni twi but or can now we know the mic neba me amisumeti mi aketwi ebu benyina. What in me chere wona say inti me linguistically diverse.
Okay.
Inti me vice chairman on so in terms of your communication say party no beko baby e wo man ha amansan mu ha akoye campaign no me cover a lot of the areas in this country from the north to the south. Inti say me kase me wo adea ye de boa political party money winning election me nka ne saa kekese me can't me ho keke, but there is substance to show. Send me can you know I be da and your friend no I boy.
Back to the base.
Yes.
Back to the base.
So the base no na make am. The entire me say me bohu ne say okay say 2008 election.
7.3.
President Mills had 23,000 votes and win the election wa man 23,000. Inti even if the base 20,000 people now almost your match on ho if MPP more I was say you worry. So to that extent I'm very worried. Now the other reason why I mean worrying is say and no as a result of historical antecedents.
Yeah.
Say all the political parties are one way breakaway parties da ewo omemu ha no ebi ni ho a etimi akonkan. I mean they are always dead on arrival from National Reform Party, from Social Democratic Party of Obeda Samoa, Nana Kunedu, Rekubro Base, UGM, Nina, Uncle Siaga. I believe, say, baby Ghana I do know. We will be like UK and US. A duopoly, what do you call it? Two-party state. We are there, ensesa. Name mum. Kakrebia ebe fi political party no no because of the 50+1 vote principle ninti 10,000 people could bet me about fem and to that extent you know me fa akonya iso e de apanwoncho say ya pacho bebre minim boni bia ene oyaw bia e hye won mu nti a omo se omo ti omo ho but na tie biara no ya pacho madamfo Haruna Mega na kakra bi na maboni di waka kire me say oka kire me ne say chief mpacho papa bi your friend no Otibonsu unim no
yeah Dr. George
Otibonsu and am say me nim no and o say me pacho obetimi ni na akasa na am say why not so ye nipa me won number me book appointment na makohu no na mabunkototwe na mapana chaw say ye pacho bebre omoamu na MPP enwe because you see ubogua aboyen abowo so
ahwiriye
nyina but oboa na party no eba abamu a oya obiara nka ode no yebetimi say 2 minutes no yebetimi ayeden aboa madam for Lord Comey tama in the Kufuor era you call by election otimi kachre a crown for say Navrongo by election will say by election no aka choboy say vote for us. You know why? Because there is nothing that a ruling government cannot do except changing a man into a woman. and then vice versa. Inti in fact, say simple there. I hear the world has changed that women can become men and certain no na gender same no anyhow and okasa asem. Inti no I'm prepared say me ko pacho. Okay. Say Otibonsu no omonsambra. Inti the base there. Quite frankly, I'm not one of those MPP people now. Omonka say omonko enkosiaga. Enya no kre. To the extent say mahunu bi pempa say obi the 23,000 votes I win the election there. Obi yes or tin ho ameka ko pacho.
And then now they ba board so MPP no as chairman.
Yamfa ne say interview da oneme aye adwumre o de fa ne say e manifesto o de na bisa wo ho say ana o de fa ne say interview wo na wo to me say wo be decide who will be part of MPP national executive me why me interview ma ba interview me we judge for yourself catch them me say interview ya wo ye me ma pass anase me pass intimidate say o listeners now won tie me now on ye delegates no omon so by the time I be we no they will be convinced say papa yi ya hwe na ya hwere ni experience ni nimdie ni nwuma sua yi
party na adikese
ebe ha dwene kakra. I believe say any objective person listening to me will come to that conclusion. You don't have to like me. Na mom utan okodua no in America.
Emra na unua Samia Ukuwa ha.
Yes.
And then I'm from say ye to aba no wie no Kennedy ntimi call Dr. Laj Mahmoud Bawumia ho. Bawumia ntimi call no ho. But them no me nyanti ase say Dr. Laj Mahmoud Bawumia timi akosra Kennedy. But okosra no kukuwam na na yese okosra no. Ana na nka yese ye open. Ye twitwa pictures. Ye dey ba social media. Because in politics no obi tinche mbaka se na se kukuwam de ye hu. Ebi a enye nokre. Kwan opa so kotia no. Ne kwan so ano no.
Ane ne kwan so ano. Na me nkan bibi nkyere.
107.3
Nientia eno nso no nansen political parties yen ye beye say oh we are doing something ama ye be kwa koto aba na ahwere yen eye say yen ye mre no me mitama na me ye national youth organizer na social media ni ho nti eno no o ye djuma o yire hu eye enye say obi be hunti
Nye picture sem.
Enye picture because there's no social media. And no unam bunkpurugu, unam hamili, unam. You have to physically go to where the people are to be able to talk to them. Now say no, because of social media anti. Obiko jina rally asia. No kukrudu no a picture no they are two social media. Hey ya bro.
O kan kukurudu bakono.
Bakono. Wabre. What you say? Mekai, the late Alhaji Salifu. I'll answer that question, but the late Alhaji Salifu COP, no a Northern Regional Chairman of MPP. Now Okone to, Okodu boys be base, and then the boys were shouting at him, "Hey, na ye teha, and ye breath for party na munfi." No, see okay. Mo ahana motio from morning to evening ahana moti. Mo me fi chiri poni, ena mi kofa saboba. Ena me call yendi ena mananti sa mafa gushegu na maba mo nchen nti me ne mo hwan na abre wo happen out ena me mananti northern region nyina abeto wo say wo ti base ha me ne wo hwan na abre. Do you understand? Nti I think say for people like Mahmoud Bawumia no omo visited these presidential candidates no with the objective say genuine unity enye for the cameras. I don't know whether you get the point. In fact, me personally, Mr. Kenny Japan we na me.
Okay.
But and after that I did interview with one of your sisters. I didn't say it that Mahmoud Bawumia yes because enye no na hia. Ni hia ne say first of all say okosra no because I'm sure say okachire me say Ken cracky joke bi Okonona can say, I will retaliate. I know Mahmoud Bawumia na catch him say, can catch him so be retaliate in a visit.
Okay.
Retaliate in court, of
That's
course.
Nice.
Now, I would have thought, say, the reason I didn't put it out, say retaliation never bad.
Okay.
Retaliation never bad. Then you will be happy and know say and more Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia 2 years.
I eat the fruits.
I yield the fruits. Oh yes, Anna. Ono Kenny Japan nankasa. You are saving him some trouble. I don't know whether you get the point that I'm trying to make. So I think that these visits will help because I know a trail leader who is humble enough to want to bring all his people on board. Onia, they be a mekachire nkrofo say MPP ewa abaimua. Onia ehia se mewo post. The whole of President Kufuor Emreno. Na me post. But Onia those days no se me tu me car free tamale from free Accra se me ko tamale. Me do joaso a me branch ko DC no office. Oh Mustafa it is saying o kwa me ko tamale. No I say oh any ko fuel station ni na omon top fuel na ko. Me fi joaso a me do kintampo a DC no ne friend Razak Audulai me branch Razak Audulai etopu me fuel. Mikodu Bolga, the then regional minister, Mahami Salifu, Miko regional administrationer, Miko that residency for free, Mintia hotel bills. I don't know whether you get it. Residency, no so amakono. Apart from hotel bill now, Mintia, your mommy eduani di free or may you eduani and no pay we enumerate.
Because of MPP.
Because of MPP. So as for me, I know say MPP wa bemwa and ye post ne hiame. The fact that my party wa bemu kekeno is enough for me to be able to resolve some of my challenges. I don't know whether you get the point that I'm making. So for some of us, we are doing this not because Abochi, why a minister? Why a chief executive? There's nothing else to do. Do you get the point? Yeah. Than to make sure say me bazaki na ononso enyi na say ononso ye politics no ononso benyane opportunity that. So do you imagine that MPP is going to come to power and me bazaki air compete for post? Say NC. You know, I think that people have to get off this notion say about for a person or mobile with a certain reward in view. Tamana me Mr. T party no me dom party no from opposition 1992 no anameboa 1992 no NDC for na obeka say almost starting omo politics from power me starting from position think I had for day and me pa nka at that time no nka was say me joining NDC but and at that time no ne your PDC your WDC your all these paramilitary organizations of the NDC those days tamale na mintimi ndafa ako untimi aname that ishugua na makoda
because usuru
do you get the point? Say you know dagomba ni beka temple maya ka badwane you know templum yeah like ashes ashes hojoa krama intimi kodem but those days you know na enyosa na politics ding what you say no there was no proliferation of radio stations the same year one year and so ye jinemu at the kutia NDC sa emayeba abemu in the year 2000. So me I've seen hardships and I know the value of a party being in power and that's the reason we are doing what we are doing.